Well, a very warm welcome back to Vienna. We are now under the floodlights. It is now dark, it is now nighttime, and we are under the floodlights. What a wonderful first round it was for GCL round one. Although just a little bit of news coming from round one that unfortunately Yali Cass was eliminated post-round, which means that Rome Gladiators have been eliminated as a team and they will not come forward to round two. That is the same with Saint-Tropez Pirates after Duarte fell off. So two teams will not come forward into GCL round two. That means just 15 teams will be starting. And alongside me to chat everything about this and also GCL round two is our wonderful commentator, Tom. Tom, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
You've had a moment to walk the course.
Yeah, we've had a quick run around it.
In the rain. It is starting to rain.
It paused just briefly while we were running around, or else I didn't notice. I'm not sure which it was because it took all my concentration. It's impressive. I have to say, the course builder, he has a unique way of doing it. I think he's very kind. He's built some decent fences. It's a good size. But the options are very subtle. The questions are there. The fences are big. It's square. The opportunities to turn up and go really tight. He's very brave to take some of the options he's put out there, I think. So I expect to see riders get a good rhythm and, let their horses travel and then be brave that way.
Can I put you on the spot slightly and tell me if it's awful? But do you think there's any particular part of the course that will see a few more fences coming down? Because they were quite spread out in the last round. There were sort of 5 and 6 came down quite a lot. Number 9 came down quite a lot. A bit of the triple. They were kind of smattered everywhere. Yeah,
they were all over the place. And I think that's a sign of a very good course builder. That's the subtlety of the art of course building, and he nailed it in the first competition. I haven't walked anything that particularly stood out and said, "Whoa, that's scary." I think, again, it's that cumulative efforts all the time and then how brave you want to be and if you want to take a chance. I can't see anything out there particularly that's actually, as I said, I think, oh yeah, that's the one you really have to be careful. But look, you have to jump every fence, and that's the essence of the sport. The first fence is the same score as the last one, and you just keep your concentration, keep your horse's concentration, keep his motivation or hers, and keep your horse connected. And, there's a little bit of a slope on the arena. When you went back out to walk it the second time, it's a little bit of a drift down the hill here. So coming down to the double here at the end is going to be tricky. And I think you'll see 1 or 2 horses have the last fence down, just because a little bit of fatigue and concentration.
We always say horses for courses as well. In terms of this arena, in terms of this course, what sort of horse suits this best? Because we really do have such a variety of ones that are quite small and athletic and can ping versus others that are a little slower, quite big, but have a lot of scope.
But isn't that the beauty of our sport, both for athletes, for horses, human and equine? There's no set pattern here to what's actually going to be successful. We've got tall riders, we've got short riders, the guys and the girls, we're the only sport to compete on a level playing field, men and women together. And as I said, there's no template outside that says you have to be this, that or the other. Our sport has brought superstars, different temperaments, different approaches, different ways of going, different size. So there's no set template. You need a bloody good horse. That's the reality. You need to be an accurate rider, but you need a really clever. I think you need an intelligent horse when you're jumping in these type of environment. When you go into the arena, you really notice how bright it is.
Yeah.
And then, I think, as I said, the arena's not huge, but the course builder has been very good where he's put the fences. But your horse has to be very clever. Some of the turnbacks, the fence isn't in the most obvious place. So you actually have to come back a little bit on yourself to find the jump you're looking for. It'll be interesting to see some of the less experienced horses if they find that a bit challenging. Yeah. So as opposed to it being sort of on a nice sweeping bend, you come around the corner, the fence is there. It's not. It's actually a little bit more around the corner. So that'll be interesting. It's a subtle touch that he's done a few places, and we'll see what kind of effect that has.
And of course, round one sets the tone for round two. We go into GCL round two, and anything can change. Who do you think, which team do you think could end up on top of the podium here today?
When you see...
You said Shanghai Swans at the beginning.
Yeah, when you see them coming out and they're bringing out Point Break,
yes.
You got to say, well, hang on a second, they're here. They're here for the win.
It's almost
unfair. Yeah, like so, when you see Ben pulling out Point Break, he gave us a hint earlier on. The tactics are very interesting. The last team is bringing in 2 new horses. The team before that, the second last team have also, the team before that are jumping the same horses. Fernando's going to ride the same horse again, and Peter de Vos is going to ride the same horse again that they've ridden in the first round. So that's going to be very interesting. Different teams, different strategies, different tactics. but we're going to have to wait and see. If this has been anything like the previous competitions, we're going to be on the edge of our seat until the last jump with the last horse in the last round.
Which is exactly what we want, and it's exactly part of the sport. Tom, thank you so much. I will let you go and get set up for commentary. Let's just take a quick look then at the results after GCL round 1, after the news that Rome Gladiators have also been eliminated alongside Saint-Tropez Pirates. That does change the results slightly, but it doesn't change anything for those top 4 teams. That is, Shanghai Swans are still in the lead with a very, very quick time, 9 seconds faster than the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames. Now, of course, the time doesn't cross over into round 2, just the penalties cross into round 2, but it just sets the tone with how fast the Shanghai Swans are going to be and how much pressure they're going to put on the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Names. Prague Lions, again, in such a fabulous position there in 3rd. And as we go down, we've got Basel Cosmopolitans, Valkenswaard United, a little bit of a surprise there in 8th position. But again, anything can change. In London, we saw Basel Cosmopolitans come from 2nd last into 2nd place. So really do not rule out anyone going into round 2. Riesenbeck International, powered by Horse Gym, they will be looking to go clear into round 2, as will everyone else. But Riesenbeck International really wanting to get into that top 4 in the championship, so they really need some crucial points as well. Doha Falcons are last there, and Rome Gladiators and Saint-Tropez Pirates, as I slightly out of it today because they have both been eliminated. But it's not all over. We've still got round 2 to go to add to those round 1 results, and the start list has just come out. Let's head over to Dan Strange to see what the start list has in store for us for round 2.
Thanks, Rosie. It's one of those evenings. It is teeming down with rain here. I've written my notes the wrong way round on my card, so that's upside down. Paris Panthers, the lowest team in the league, and Valkenswaard United, the highest team in the league, are unchanged. The only 2 to be unchanged. Doha Falcons, well, Bassem Mohammed has a horse change. Rocket Man comes in for round 2. Jane Richards comes in for the Stockholm Hearts on Molly Malone. She went double clear in Monaco. Malenby Johnson switches to Hennessy for the team that won in New York. For Mexico Amigos, one change. They changed both horses, excuse me. Istanbul Warriors, interestingly, Henrik von Eckermann does not come in. So Hassan Senturk rides No Comment de Septon. They rode individually in Riesenbeck and had 8 faults there. So an interesting one for Istanbul Warriors. Of course, they won in Riesenbeck. Scandinavian Vikings, Joe Vreeling comes in on Kellerman Sit, who's in great form. Lara Trebut rides Memphis Zed, who had a great LGCT Grand Prix in Shanghai. For Monaco Comets, Yoli and Yone stay, but both change horse. New York Empire, Bertram Allen and Scott Brash remain in round 2, but they switch to Conquest de Rigo and Hello Jefferson. Of course, Scott Brash has so much horsepower for New York Empire. Cannes Stars, well, they give a chance. This is interesting to youngster Anastasia Nielsen and Dark Chocolate, showing the belief in their youngster for the Cannes Stars, as Katrin Eckermann remains as well. She changes horse, though. Basel, well, Andreas rides Napoli as he switches. Jana Vargas switches to Dorette OLD. Shanghai Swans, well, Katarina Romberg, an Austrian, comes in for Max Kuna, who drops out. She rides Kuma 5, and Ben Mayer switches to Point Break. Could it be any better to come in for Shanghai Swans? Rosie, it's very wet here. Back over to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you've got an umbrella out there, Dan, and I'm very pleased for us to be undercover here in the studio because the rain has started coming down quite heavily here in Vienna, but it's not going to dampen our spirits. We've still got a wonderful round 2 to come. Dan, I will let you go off and find hopefully some course reactions for us. As Tom said, there are going to be lots of faults probably all around the course. A very clever course builder today. Let's just take a look then at the virtual rankings after round 1. Now, the virtual rankings, if I just explain this very quickly, is that after round 1, if there wasn't a round 2, if we weren't jumping again, this is what the championship standings would now look like. This is the overall championship standings. If we only had round 1, Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, would be back on top spot, back where they like to be. I would mention, as we know, that they won the championship last year. They'll be wanting, as we get further into the season, to remain on that top spot. Valkenswaard United would drop down 1 spot into 2nd place. Shanghai Shanghai Swans would stay where they are, Prague Lions would also stay where they are, and Riesenbeck International would also stay where they are. Now, we discussed before in pre-show round 1 that there are only 31 points between Team 4 and Team 8. That is getting closer and closer. If you are in midfield as a team, you have everything to play for. And I think what really struck me today, and everyone, but particularly in New York and here as well in Vienna, is that the teams are really hotting up. The teams, particularly in midfield, they want to be in the top 4. And the reason they want to be in the top 4 is because when we get to the GCL Super Cup in Prague, if you're in the top 4, you do not have to jump the quarterfinals. That's an entire round that you don't have to jump, which is such a bonus when you're going to the GCL Super Cup. And as we discussed as well, if you're in 17th place this year, unfortunately, you do not go to the GCL Super Cup either. So it's a really important point. Paris Panthers will want to be out of that now. But I've just heard that Dan Strange in the rain has managed to catch up with Michael van der Vleuten. Let's head straight down to them.
Thanks, Rosie. Me and Michael literally were catching up there about life. Madrid Emotions, Michael van der Vleuten. Michael, let's have a chat about the course as we walk through. We're at 4A, B and C here. Yeah. Now, the colours, under the lights, difficult pastel colours.
Yeah, as you can see, they are not. It's the very light green, which is not very sharp for the horses to judge, and as you can see, it's the A and B element of the triple combination. So yeah, I expect some faults at these 2 elements, which is a difficult part in the course for the horses.
Coming away from the in-out gate and the slight angle across the arena as well, it is a challenging course. What's been said so far by a number of people, Scott Brash, for example, very square, and the faults seem like they'll keep going right through the round. What's your view on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with Scott. What is also a difficult part in this arena is that the ground is not very straight. So some jumps, for example, the triple combination goes a little bit uphill, as we say, which is more heavy for the horses. It takes the rhythm more out of the stride of the horses, and some fences are going a little bit down, which gets a bit of flat jump for the horses. So no, altogether, I think it's a tricky class. Yeah, many faults will happen this round.
Well, that bell means they're ready for the riders.
Yes, I hope not for Madrid Emotion, but that's on us.
Michael, thanks for your time. Rosie, back to you from a very, very wet arena.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. Michael van der Vleuten will be coming back in on Beauville. And for this round, all of our teams, all of our horses and riders will be coming through the palace this time into the arena. What a way to enter this arena, this showground as well. This is GCL round 2. We look forward to it. It's going to be a battle, particularly for those top 4 teams in the championship.
Welcome back to Vienna. This is the Schönberg Palace. It's the most beautiful setting, and we get ready for the second competition in the Global Champions League. We've already had the first competition this afternoon. It's thrown up a couple of surprises. We've seen some big names come through. We have a fantastic competition ahead of us. The arena is set. Everybody's starting to take their seats. We've had a wonderful afternoon here A little bit of rain, I won't say it's dampened our spirits, but thankfully it's light, it's eased off now. Hopefully we'll have a dry evening ahead. Raining, starting to ease up definitely. It's only 13 degrees, it's not too bad, 65%, and if there's a very slight wind, it's not going to affect anything. The lights are going to be put on here in a few minutes and you're going to see this arena light up. Everybody's relaxing, all in position. We'll have a number of changes from the first round, from the first competition to the second competition. There's our course builder, Peter Schumacher. He's done a fantastic job. The course he built in the first round was brilliant. We're on 515 metres, 83 seconds allowed. We've 13 obstacles and that equals 16 jumping efforts. There's our Longines fence in the middle of the arena, and we'll go through the course in a couple of minutes. Riders are out now, the teams have made their adjustments, tactics have come into play. I know a lot of these teams will already have had a plan. They'll know who they want to come out for the 1m60 class, but I'm sure after the first round there's going to be a couple of adjustments and we'll have to wait and see what they're going to play out. Sheikh Ali Al Tahini jumped very well in the first competition. Marlon's not jumping here, he's actually doing a bit of coaching, passing on his experience. Hans-Dieter Dreyer, we saw him with Marcus Enning, really strong showing. There, some of the biggest names in the sport are here. Edwina looks like she's stepping up for the team, and Malin, they're all here. Yeah, absolutely foot perfect in the first round. Mark's wearing his woolly hat. Jane Richards. So everybody, the scene is set now. We won't be too far before we get underway. As before, we're going to have a number of riders come in and compete in the individual before we get on to the team. So we've 18 riders that we're going to see. Some of these already team members may have jumped earlier. Here's our running order. So to note there, I see fellow Castlefield. Edwina Tops Alexander will be fourth in. Max Cooner. Cooley jumped the queue. Harry Smollers on Monaco. These are horses I expect to see back. Definitely competing on Sunday for the big class. Look there, number 16, Martin Fuchs Connor J. Peter Fredriksson back in Al Capone. And then we get into the team running. Once we get past 18, then we're on to the team riders. So come on, Stanley's coming back. Hennessy stepping up from Allen. Few rider changes we see. Gentleman a horse we see plenty of. George, Christian Kukoc, he's already jumped this afternoon. He's going to come back again. Philip is coming in on Oreo Dior. Memphis, Zed for Laura. Marcus Enning back on the same horse again. Yali Mitalaneo, she brings out Ardita Doxido Sida. So definitely a number of changes, and look down at the very end, number 48, our last horse to go, Ben Mayer. Outstanding already today. Now he steps up and he brings the wonderful point break. Will that be the horse that's going to win it for his team? We're going to have to wait and see. Still a little bit of rain around. Hopefully that'll head away. There's enough high pressure in this arena at the moment. We shouldn't have any rain. People are still relaxing, enjoying themselves. We look forward to this competition. As you say, not too many empty seats in the stand. A lot of fun here earlier on this afternoon. We got to see some of the young riders come into the arena as well. Great experience for them. And now look at this for an arena entrance through the palace. Just extraordinary. Where else in the world will you get something so beautiful, so iconic? We're back here in Vienna. We haven't been here for a number of years. But what a stage. What a location. We saw Julie compete earlier on. This is an 11-year-old gelding by Van Gogh. So, when we spoke earlier today about the opportunities that the Global Champions Tour allows riders to come and experience these 5-star world-class shows in these iconic locations. So this is a local rider who's now getting an opportunity to come here and to compete with the very best. So there's a change. She rode Big Jill out this morning. Now she comes on Varus. this 11-year-old. Interesting to see how she's going to approach this course. It's also a qualifier for the Grand Prix. Top 40 will come forward for that. So we start here over a vertical, then we swing right-handed. And again, trademark from the course builder, he's given us quite a long run between the second and the third fence. An oxer with the water tray underneath. And now, again, plenty of room. Get yourself set up for the third fence. Now we have a vertical. 2 strides to a vertical, 1 stride, so the combination comes up quite quickly in this track. And now a bending line to the right. That trademark big oxer, unfortunately, misunderstanding. And we've parted company. Julia's evening is finishing. Yeah, she's frustrated with that. She jumped the combination really well. Thought the horse had put his eye on the Longines oxer, but he hadn't quite focused on it enough. And when she asked him to take off, he wasn't so sure what the question was. He hadn't quite set himself, and we see it again in the replay. Unfortunately, as the rules now state, if you're eliminated, you have to go and see the doctor. They're going to check it out. No harm done. Both horse and rider walk out fine. Smiles from the groom. We can see here, jumps this. Really scopy horse. This is the fence. Unfortunately, you can see Julia was looking for the horse to take off. That's what she was expecting to happen. But the horse wasn't quite on the same wavelength. Parted company, landed on her feet fortunately, and you can see how light the poles are. 2 more classes tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have her back in the arena again. Various looks like a decent sort of a horse. Now one of the riders we saw earlier on, jumping in the team, Ignacio Lopez de la Oza Franco, NASCAR Vam Simsov. This is a 12-year-old by Emilio. He's a member of the Stockholm Hearts team. Oh, just gets underway now. $1.60 track. It's going to take a lot of jumping. That's the first part of the combination down. And you can see there's a short approach at the end of this big oxer. There's a long run away from the back of the combination. Then you turn right-handed and the fence comes up at you very quickly. Now back right-handed to a tall vertical. And now another Longines oxer. Back left-handed. Five strides down that distance from 8 to 9. Now a really tall vertical, the Prague playoffs fence. You can see there's a plank at the bottom and then just 3 poles. Now this fence comes up very quickly also. Now comes the last line. Oxer in, 1 stride to the vertical, he's had that as well. And then 4 strides to the last fence. Just inside the time allowed. 4 fences down, unfortunately. That gives him 16 faults. That won't help his Grand Prix qualification, I'm afraid. So he's a little rub on that one. Gets away with that, but unfortunately, he doesn't get away with that one. Just catches it behind. He can go and try off now. We pass over. Marcus Schurig on a Burris Crunchy Nut. this 11-year-old gelding by Cardento. Jumped earlier on this afternoon. We can see him. No martingale, just a nice soft hackamore. There's a great relationship with this horse and rider. You can see they really trust each other. Jumped a lovely round this afternoon. And now you can see Marcus has a really light contact. This horse is very intelligent. So, just taking a cautious approach to the start of the course in particular. Just wants to jump a clear round. I don't believe the horse is going to be able to go and really gallop at this track. You just want to pick up a nice rhythm, stay on that rhythm, make the minimal amount of adjustments possible. Just stay smooth everywhere. Just stay on those nice even inside lines. Here we go. Let your horse jump the fences. There's a big enough challenge set by the course builder, Peter Schumacher, without trying to actually rush the job. I think you're going to need all the time and space that you can to try and get around. He stands off that vertical with the plank on top. Takes a little bit of a chance at it, but he's got away with it. Now he needs to sit up for this. But a real good adjustment from the horse. Now, sets up for the last line. So we have an oxer in, 1 stride to the vertical, and then 4 strides home. Last fence coming up. This is very good. You can see Marcus just sits back. The horse doesn't even look at that water tray. Watch how he pricks his ears when he jumps the last fence. There's a clear round for a home rider, and really much appreciated by everybody. 81.92, early days, but it puts him into first place at the moment in the individual classifications. Here's a lovely horse. You can see we talk about that light contact. Look at Marcus looking for the next fence. Really well done everywhere. Here we come. That's the last jump. Watch the horse prick his ears when he hears the crowd. There you go. That's lovely. He deserves all the applause he gets. Yeah, thumbs up. Good job. Yeah, the rain is coming down now. But here's a lady with loads of experience. Is one of the top riders in the world. Edwina Tops Alexander. She's here on fellow Castlefield. They're a fantastic partnership. They've been all over the world. Winners of some of the biggest Grand Prix. Previous series winner here as well. Member of the Monaco Comets. This little horse, he's a 15-year-old. He's such a character. You've seen him, I know this horse a very long time. Ridden previously by Susan Fitzpatrick. He's just a gamey little horse. He's a real trier, and they've such a partnership by Jet 10 Flamenco. Had a little break in the middle of the season, just regrouped. I think he's should be back up to match fitness now, and he's been really well managed. Looks a picture. Now he pops down through the combination. Oh, just comes at that a little bit. Try to jump it a little bit on the angle. Now wants to keep it on the 4. Another big Longines oxer coming now on this bending line from left to the left. This fence comes up very quickly once you come around the corner. And now 5 strides down the distance. A really tall vertical with just that very light plank on the flat cups. It makes it so careful. There's no margin of error. 1.60 m, the Prague playoffs. Very light on top, plank on the bottom. It just comes down the hill. Squares up for the double. Oxer in. Pops that. Now 4 strides home. Great control. You can see how she just waited a little bit on the distance. It's almost telepathic, the relationship between horse and rider at this level. He's getting stronger and stronger. I think he's getting back to match fitness. Probably just needed a round or 2. Little over the time allowed, 9 penalties. But we know the quality of this partnership. When they're up to full speed, we'll expect them to be really competitive. Yeah, you can just see there, look, his inside front leg wasn't the same, wasn't parallel with his outside front leg. It just, if your timing is any little bit off, and we can see how the conditions are out here, how difficult it is for both horse and rider to keep their concentration. Don't let the rain dampen your spirits or attract your concentration. you know, really stay focused on the job. Max Kuhner into the ring. Remember the Shanghai Swans. So he steps aside now from team duties. But as a home rider, I'm sure he'll want to put up a solid performance. This is a horse he has a lot of experience with. They're very competitive. They've done a lot. KIC Cooley jumped the queue by Pacino. Bertram Allens. Sorry, not Clem McMahon Stallion. He's only a 12-year-old now by OBOS quality. Same stallion as Pacino Amiro, I was trying to say. Richard Chains Cooley Prefix. Horse that started his career in Ireland. Bred by Pam Walsh down on the East Coast. He's been a real servant to Max. They've won a lot of classes. This is the first rider now to really grab the gaunt. He's really quick. He's thrown down the gauntlet. He's taken on the course builder. Using the horse's experience, he's also very quick across the ground. He's cutting the corners everywhere. There's 105,000 plus in the prize fund for this class. Now gives him loads of space off that tall plank. Comes inside to the Pride Playoffs, big vertical. And now look at his eyes. Keeps his head up. Down, jumps this now, swings right-handed. He's already on an inside line. Definitely one stride less than most riders on there. Support for this now, it's a wait. Very patient. Super job. He's going to go into the lead by a distance, 75.99. He wants to win this. Very smooth round all the way through. Goes into the lead. He's 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds quick, 6 seconds quicker than everybody who's gone previously. Really set out from the beginning to put down a really smart time. Took all the chances that he could. He knows his horse is very careful, very quick across the ground. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the man behind him is definitely a man used to jumping big fences and going fast. Already has a golden ticket for the playoffs. A regular winner of Grand Prix. We saw himself in Monaco being successful in Valkenswaard recently. Six-year-old, 16-year-old by Cassini. Just taking a moment. Bella's gone. He'll have the countdown clock. He'll use that. And we'll see how he's going to start off. Does he mean business? I'm sure he will. Another rider with a naturally very quick. You watch how few adjustments he's able to make as he goes around the round through the course. Now moves up to the first fence, already in his trademark forward position. Nine strides across there, jumps that big rustic oxer. Very neat off the back of the jump every time. A trademark riding from Harry. You watch how quick he is. Pops in here now. There's a little stumble. Balances it well done. Quick, really neat recovery. Now he's already eyeing the next fence. Really tight back here. That comes up very blind. That shows how accurate he can be. Moves across. Now not much he can do here. Just stay balanced. Inside option. Inside route is not an option here. 5 strides. Have to stick to the pattern. And now let the horse travel. You can see how smooth he is. Just stays forward all the time. Watch how quiet his hands are. Jumps a little bit to the right. Lands on that inside line. Now, here we go. Last line. Let's keep an eye on the clock. 72, 73. Is he going to go into the lead? I don't think so. Goes into second place. Put the last fence down. Wasn't quick enough. 76.55. That last fence down is going to keep him off the podium. That 4 stride distance. Here we go, that's the big oxer with the water tray. Takes no chances there. And that's the last fence. And look how late that pole falls. Wait till we see this in slow motion. This is the slightest of rubs. Watch the pole Watch it. And it just barely moves, and that's all it takes. Harry's around a long time. He knows unless you're foot perfect over these tracks, you're not going to win the watch. We move on. Victor Bettendorf comes in. He rides Gibbs, You New Prince. This is only a 9-year-old by numero uno. Jumped earlier for Madrid in Motion. Ranked number 60 in the world. Moves up on the 9. Wants to keep it nice and neat now as well. Not going to run his horse off his feet, just give him every chance to jump the fences. Into the combination. Yeah, you can see he's playing the percentages here. Make sure that his horse gets his eye on the fence. Gives him that extra stride if he needs to. Yeah, the course builder has given the riders a number of options that they can take, but in a lot of cases they've got to stick to the pattern. So the distances, there's nothing you can do on that 5-stride distance. You have to be patient, take your medicine, make sure you don't get excited and run too deep to that really tall plank. Down here you jump the double, and now you've got to get the 4 strides. Unfortunately, he has the vertical on the way out. 76.14, it was a very respectable time. That last fence could be costly. Yeah, we just see it here. That's the big Longines Oxer. Look how high he goes there. Now this is down the bottom of the arena, down the last line. That big rig Oxer coming in, and watch him here, just ever so slightly. Gets his timing, just a little bit of a double take with his hind legs. You see he goes left. Here's a horse with no hind shoes on him. Something we see quite a bit of nowadays. The Barefoot Brigade. Yeah, he's just going to hold the horse there while they just do the boot check and stuff. So we move on. Duarte and the Radas had a bit of a misunderstanding in the first qualifier this afternoon. Went into the ring, was preparing to go and jump, and something happened, and Duarte decided he was going to behave like a 3-year-old. Gave a few bucks, and I think uncharacteristically he caught Duarte off guard, and as a result they were eliminated. So back in here now, he wants to qualify for the Grand Prix. He starts off really neat. Duarte, very experienced, really stylish rider. This horse, part owned by Duarte and Carl G, his big supporter. Haven't seen her here, but she does come to a lot of shows. Really enjoys the sport. Now he's had a fence down, so you might see Duarte just speed up a little bit, try and give himself a chance for the Grand Prix. Yeah, he's just going to keep coming down. Hopefully we'll be fast enough for a falter. This is a 12-year-old. A lot of experience now at this stage. Jumped the championships, been around, jumped a lot of the Global Champion League competitions. Duarte, I think this is his 7th or 8th outing this season, part of the league. Finishes up 82.30. He's going to have to play a waiting game. 4 faults. Puts him into 5th place currently. Just has it in front a little bit late with that near left front leg. Just pushes off in front. Yep, shake it ahead. We saw Gregory earlier on, jumping for the Saint-Tropez Pirates. And again, you see he had a very unusual bridle set up. He's done the same now. He has almost the same bridle on Pupnik van der Moorhof. This is a 10-year-old mare by Viggo Narsol. Again, you can see no brow band, no noseband, no martingale, but just very light on the hands. Horse is really well trained, really receptive to the control. Oh, just has the first part of the combination. Big horse, you can see, really powerful. You can watch how the horse moves its mouth quite a lot. And obviously Gregor decides that, you know, no restrictions, just allow the horse to do what it wants to do. He just needs enough control, and he has plenty of that for the job. Just lets the horse keep it nice and balanced, lets it travel through the corner. The horse very receptive. Now, coming near the last line, he's been reasonably slow. It could be under pressure for a time fault, I think. He's taking his time on the way around. Now, pops that now 4 strides, needs to wait a little bit. I think we could be in trouble time-wise. Yeah, we've fenced down on a time fault, gives him 5 penalties. Yeah, just a little bit conservative. Took his time around a couple of the corners. Time allowed 83 seconds, and he's just barely gone over it. 83.17, but just gets caught out. Horse is very happy. Just unfortunate that one fence down, and he would have taken the time fault, I'm sure, if I got him in. If I qualified him, and I got him some prize money today. It's a pity. Manuel Camilli comes in on Shakur's Girl Star. This is a 13-year-old mare by Shakur Blue of Sandro Boy, and a variant breed. He's ranked number 32 in the world. Part of the Riesenbeck international team. Another horse you can see with a sheepskin noseband. Very tall horse, you can see, huge big stride, really covers the ground. Now comes to the combination. Whoa, really has to work hard to shorten the horse's stride, you can see, particularly for the middle part. Scope is no problem here. Now he's neat back, not hanging around. Using his voice, you can just hear him coming around the corner. Yeah, look, he's a little off the pace for the first couple, but I'm sure if he can keep a clean sheet. Horse just getting a little bit keener now, you can see. Whoa, just wait. And that's what happens. Just got a little bit enthusiastic. Now he's going to have to regroup now before he heads down the last line. Whoa. Yeah, he's good there. He goes nice and deep into that oxer to slow the horse down. Makes a good adjustment on the way back to the last fence. Finishes up on 78.43. Goes one fence down. Puts him in 5th place at the moment. But there's a lot of jumping yet to do. Yeah, she's a big mare. You can see her there, really powerful. Just carries her head a little high there, has a bit of a bump on that rail. Yeah, he just got a little bit keen coming around the corner, just wasn't able to get her timing right. Just got a little bit tense in her body and just wasn't able to get her back end out of the way. So we move on. Magdalena Fischer on Chapeloux. This is a 13-year-old stallion. Now really had a really good showing in the 155 class this afternoon. Got a really nice placing in that. Was absolutely delighted, really enjoyed the experience. Wants to just go a little bit better now and get into this ring. This is a really nice horse. Watch his technique. It's superb over the jump. Really uses itself well. Ears pricked. Now down to the combination. Lovely combination of scope and technique. Really powerful off the ground, and then the way it uses his body in the air is just exemplary. Okay, just getting a little bit stronger. You can hear Magdalena using her voice as well. Now, keeping it together. 5 strides, give him plenty of space. And now, use the turn, then just get the balance again. You can see she's got nice and wide. Give him every chance. Unfortunately, he just came a little bit left-handed. He came off the ground, just drifted on her. Now, that was a pity. Now the last line. Whoa. Boy, well done. You can see how hard the horse tried there. Ah, what a pity. That was a great round. Great opportunity to come here as an individual. Really good this morning. And again, look, really appreciates her horse and what the effort that he's put in. Finishes up on 82.94. 4 falls, puts her into 7th place at the moment. But look at this for determination. Really nice horse rider combination. We have another 2 days to enjoy this partnership, and I'm sure they're going to go from strength to strength. Look at the horse, 1 ear forward, 1 ear back. He's been very good. Just came a little bit to that fence and just drifted, I think. That yellow cup, yeah, you can see even with the writing on the fence, the horse is to the left of that. He's nearer to us. You really wanted him to stay perfectly straight and allow him to jump the fence. But Magdalena is enjoying her afternoon and her evening. The rain hasn't dampened her spirits. So we move on. One of the superstars of our sport. We saw him earlier on in round 1 of the GCL. Post a clear round. Unfortunately, his team is not back. Technical elimination. But Peter Fredriksson, what an artist. We see him in Al Capone. The Carmel. There's a 15-year-old by Di Montesemele. Again, this is an artist at work. You can see what balance. A little rub going in. You can see just makes some slightest little adjustment on the way around the corner. But it's almost impossible to see. He's so balanced. Fantastic control. Now this fence comes up very quick. Now 5 strides up here. Patient. Loads of space. Oh, and the first person to come inside. What'll that do for him? Just got stuck a little bit, lost a bit of momentum, but he's the first person we've seen make that turn. Now last fence coming up. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, you can see keeps him off that back rail. 78.11. Goes into 2nd place at the moment. That was a very good percentage round. Tried that inside turn. Would have liked to have been a little bit smoother through it, and then he would have probably made up the time he was looking for. Really smart riding. But what an artist. There you go, you can see him jump that vertical, and here he comes. Look, inside there. Just wanted it to be a little bit smoother, that was all. All the way through the round, he just keeps that forward momentum. Minimal interference. Into the ring, we're waiting. Maria Gabriela Burgal-Gasso. J'adore Flamenco, she rides this evening. This is a 13-year-old gelding by J'aime Flamenco. from Dominican Republic. She's got a ranking of 259. Normally jumps for the Rome Gladiators. So she's supporting this weekend. Whoops. Bella's gone. Yeah, we're going to have to come back, reset the fence, come again. Just didn't quite happen there that time. We'll have to watch the replay and try and figure that one out, but horse never took off. Started off quite nicely, jumped the first couple of fences fine. Maybe the water tray just caught his eye, or maybe there was a bit of rain in the water tray, we're not sure. We'll just watch now as she represents. Yeah, there she goes. She gets the bell. Now we're going to see now what she's going to do. Is she going to represent? I think she will. Yeah, looks like it. Come on. You can see that little mask on his face. Yeah, just has the front rail down, but she gave him a little bit of encouragement. Again, another sensitive horse. You can see he wears that mask is to try and stop anything from, you know, you can see he just shakes his head a little bit. He's quite sensitive. He's a good jumper. Loads of scope, loads of power off the ground. Just need to get the partnership a little bit more, a little bit smoother. Now we're settling into it. Yeah, we underestimate sometimes when the horses come into this big arena, particularly when they come up the chute. You'll see one there in the left-hand side of the screen. You know, it's quite dark on the way up when they come up through the palace, and then they come into the arena. It's really bright. It's, you know, an electric atmosphere, and, you know, difficult to get the horses just to switch on. Maria came up on an inside line there to that tall vertical, just trying to keep the horse, just really keep him motivated now, get him to concentrate on his job. Last line coming up, you can see she's a lot of leg on. You know, really get his attention, stop him from looking around. Yeah, I think the atmosphere just got a little bit, he got a bit distracted. Then a bit of a misunderstanding, so I think good job from the rider there. She's got stuck in, really concentrated on getting her horse around the course, giving him every chance to jump the fences, but not allowing him get distracted. Really get him to switch on and work with her. He's a 13-year-old. Not sure has he been in this environment recently. So let's have a look at the standings. First, Marcus Kucher. Peter Fredriksson in second. Then in third, Marcus. Then Victoria Brittanoff, and then Harry Smollers in fifth. So we've 3 clear rounds so far. And now, another rider we saw jump earlier on. Jana Frederick Meyer Zimmerman. Iron Maid's Just a Dream. Jumped 155 round this afternoon. For her team, was clear in that, was foot perfect all the way. This Toulon out of a Cavalier Royale mare, Irish sport horse. Really powerful jumper. Bred by Jimmy Lawler, produced by Francis Connors. You can see loads of scope. It's only a 9-year-old. But great use of itself. It works very hard down through the combination. Very neat, not hanging around. Yeah, unfortunately that front rail just came around the corner. There's not a lot of room there. Once you come around that corner, you've only got maybe just over 2 strides to actually process and get your distance. Jana looked like she was bang on. I just think that a little bit of inexperience on the horse's part. Just didn't make enough of an adjustment. Now jumps this big oxer and now comes right-handed on the last line. Now you can see, watch how big a stride this horse has. Really has to shorten up to jump the second part and shorten up for the last line as well. 80.80, fence down, puts her in 7th place at the moment. A young horse with a very bright future, I am sure. Was cleared in the 155 first qualifier. Good day's work by this combination. Yeah, we can just see just the timing a little bit off there. Rain really coming down now, making it difficult for the horse rider combinations. Next into the ring, Yuri Mansour, ranked number 46 in the world. Really competitive rider. JH Alphonse Santo Antonio, it's an 18-year-old by Aramats. Loads of experience, looks absolutely fantastic. I love when we see these older horses still at the top end of the sport. Their enthusiasm is fantastic. And look at this guy, his ears pricked, just wants to go about his job. And it just goes to great testament to the grooms, the vets and the support staff, the physios and everybody to look after these extraordinary horses. They give us so much, but it's great to see them being so well looked after. This guy's really spring-heeled. Quick across the ground. We'll wait to see what the splits are like. Yeah, he's a little bit down, but a nice percentage round all the same. Yuri, naturally a very competitive rider. Yeah, I think he's playing the percentages here. Knows a clear round is going to go a long way. Now he's just speeding, just quickening up a little bit. Comes inside 1.60 m. Very good technique. And now he's just taking his time. Yeah, jumps that oxer, and now he's going to set up for the last line. Just sits back a little bit. Now noses a short distance. Just gets the back rail on the oxer going in. What a pity. 79.33. Time was reasonably good. Put that fence down. Puts him in 7th place. Beautiful horse. Looks 17 years of age. Look how light he is on his feet. Looks an absolute picture. Great credit to his whole team. Yuri has a really strong string of horses and great setup now. Beautiful technique from the horse. What a pity, just on that back rail, possibly just thinking a little bit about that distance. Just didn't finish behind like he wanted him to. They're the chances you take. So from one superstar of the sport, we move on to the next. They don't get much bigger than Martin Fuchs, Conor Jay. Prolific winners at the highest level. Ranked number 27 in the world at the moment. This horse has all the experience. Very quick. Look at that. Scopey, careful. Now let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to take a real chance, or is he just going to wind up as he goes along? I think that's what he's opted to do. He's neat and tidy on the first couple of fences, and now you can see he's getting to the business end. Just drops that shoulder a little bit. That's a bit of a trademark tell for him. Now, pop the combination. And now we'll see what he does. Middle part is gone. That's uncharacteristic. Now he needs to play the percentages. Needs to be neat on the 4 faults if he wants to get through on Sunday. Huge scope over the oxer. Yeah, he's playing the percentages, definitely. Not taking too many chances. Knows he needs to leave it on the 4 and then roll the dice. Conor Jay just shaking his head a little bit. Yeah, he's very good. Again, you can see the horse really uses his body to clear that vertical coming out of the double. Finishes on the 4 faults, 81.56. He's going to have to wait out and see what happens. Okay, 2 left in the individuals, and then we'll head on to the team. And that's when the pressure is really going to start. So looking forward to it. Look at him here, just a slight mistiming from the horse. If you watch it again, he just leaves his front left toe that a little bit lower, wasn't as quick with it as he'd have liked to have been. Martin's looking back wondering what happened there. Doesn't often happen, that horse rider combination. They've put up a lot of clear rounds, the statistics are through the roof. So on to Henrik von Eckermann, ranked number 14 in the world. We saw him earlier on in the first round of the league. Jumped for the Istanbul Warriors. Now he rides his 12-year-old grey by Celestial. Khaleesi's quite keen. You can see just one of these horses that wants to travel. Henrik already a naturally very forward rider. You can just see how he just balances the horse. He has that trademark short reins, that lovely position. You can see how he sets his body all the time. And you can see, he doesn't hold the horse back. He just keeps the horse balanced, lets it travel. Wow, watch the way she kicks out behind. Now, oh, a little bit of a take in the air. I think maybe she misread that back rail. Watch your body when you see her again in the replay. She just kind of jumps up and has a little stutter. Now up to 5 stride. Again, Henrik, all his experience, he's just going to keep a nice balance, keep the rhythm. Just bring her home on the 4 faults and then see what happens. Comes up the inside here. Now pops in. Just gives her loads of support. Now weight on the 4. Yeah, you can see he just does a really good job there on the first 2 strides, and then he gets to put his leg on and give her plenty of support off the back rail. Finishes on a fence down. Puts her into 8th place at the moment. Time 80.30. Just watch it here, look. I think she touches the upright. You can see how she hits the wing. She's drifted a little bit to the left and ran out of space. Just gave a little double take with her hind leg. So just move the upright. There you can see, look, the little marker on the rein. You can see a number of the riders now will have their own methods of putting little markers on, so when they get into the ring they know what length of rein they need to ride each particular horse, depending how that horse will use itself over the jumps. So Henrik has looks like a little bit of cloth there. He uses that as a marker. Some of them will have a number of elastic bands put together. Just little ideas that the riders have their own personal touches to their own tack setup. So last in of the individuals, Kevin Stout. He rides Queen's Baloo B. She's only a 10-year-old by Baloo de Roue. Kevin's ranked number 15 in the world at the moment. He's not a member of one of the teams. He's had an early fence down. We saw that fence in that position with the red poles on it being quite influential earlier on. And again, that's the second time this evening it's been on the floor, I believe. Now, another really experienced rider. He's just going to have to keep on it, stay motivated. Keep the horse up to its job, keep it concentrating, bring it home on the 4. Really smooth through the corner. You can see this horse, how it carries his tail very high. Slightly unusual to some of the horses we've seen. It's just his way of doing it. Now 1 fence to go. Whoa, just wait a little bit. Has a bit of a rub on that rail, just towed him down the distance. Finishes on 4th, goes into 6th place at the moment, 78.05. Now the rain continues to fall. We're looking now, Max Kuhner is in the lead, followed by Predator Ferguson, Marcus Schurag, and Victor Bretenoff, and then Harry Smolders. That's the running order at the moment. Here we go. We want Kevin just has a front rail, just gives it a nudge. There's 2 water trays underneath. Just the timing a little bit out again. And again, look at those yellow trademark cups. So unforgiving. Rain is fairly coming down now as well. Arena Party go to work. So Max Schooner's in the lead. Breder Fredrickson and Marcus, they're our top 3. We're going to take a break. Come back and join us. We look forward to the second round of the GCL. So can't wait to see you. Welcome back. It's the second part of the Global Champions League. We're in Vienna. It's the 1m60 round. This is where it's all to play for. We've had the 17 teams have jumped the first qualifier this afternoon, the 1m55. Now they come back in order of merit, and we wait and see what happens. It's all to play for. The first team we're going to see are the Doha Falcons. The last team we're going to see are Baz will come up. Who are we going to see? Okay, weather at the moment. Unfortunately, I'm sad to report it's raining at the moment. Hopefully it's going to blow off. It's about 13 degrees with very little wind. And it's about, the moisture levels are quite high at the moment. Shanghai Swans are going to be the last team we're going to see this afternoon. They're currently in pole position. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We have a lot of jumping. The overall situation at the moment, Valkenswaard United are out in front in 240 points, followed by the Cannes Stars, Shanghai Swans, Prague Lions, the Riesenbeck International, Madrid Emotion in 6th, 7th, Basel. So then look at the bottom, 17, we've got the Paris Panthers. They went to move up. Doha Falcons, Monaco Comets, and Rome Gladiators, Scandinavian Vikings, Stockholm Hearts. Everybody's nice and comfortable. And here we go. We're going to see some highlights from earlier on. Saint-Tropez Pirates. Early to go. Unfortunately, this is what happened to Art. Dorados came into the ring. He was just feeling a little bit frisky and never even got to jump a fence. Unfortunately, the rules now state if you're eliminated. Followed on, Prague Lions came in. Fernando Martinez Sommer, he's been such a competitor in the league so far this season. And again, he was foot perfect on this occasion. So they lie in 3rd position after round 1, Peter de Vos. And they're currently 4th in the overall. A really strong pairing. We're going to see them back. They'll be 3rd last to go. The Shanghai Swans. What a performance from these two. Yeah, look, they're 3rd overall at the moment, but they finish in the 1st place after the 1st round. Fantastic showing from Ben Maher and Mark Kuhner. So they'll be last to go. They'll be looking to have a home victory for the home base Austrian riders. Let's wait and see what happens. Can Stars, this was an extraordinary performance. Catherine Eckermann, she came in on this beautiful Xiao Li. So they're in second place after round 1. They're also second in the overall, so we see the real quality coming through, the real force to be reckoned with. Will they hold that place they're looking for? Jana Friedrich-Meyer Zimmermann, she was part of that first round pairing as well. She's on the bench for the second competition. Valkenswaard, they're currently first overall. Marcus Enning here. We had one fence down, unfortunately for him. But they're 14 points out in front at the moment. Let's wait and see what happens. Yeah, they're in 8th place after round 1. We're going to have to wait and see. Hans-Dieter Dreyer there with him. So they're going to come back for the second round. So here we go after round 1. In the lead with the Shanghai Swans. Can Stars are in second. Prague Lions, Basel Cosmopolitans, New York Empire have moved up. They're in 5th place. I think they're quite strong. First of the 4 falters. Madrid in Motion. And then as we look down through it then, unfortunately we've lost 2 teams. We've lost the Rome Gladiators and the Saint-Tropez Pirates. Doha Falcons are on 24. Stockholm Hearts are on 16. So plenty fences down, but block to jump for. This is a decent track. It's a 1.60 m. And here we'll have a look at the animation. Beautiful setting here. Look, fantastic arena. So 1 round against the clock, 375 meters per minute. So we've 13 obstacles as a 1.60 m. We've 16 jumping efforts. We'll start here on a vertical, swing right-handed. We'll jump the second fence. And then again, we have a long run between the second and the third fence. They're coming up here in about 9 strides, most of them. Let's see if anybody's going to get brave and come up on the 8. Back left-handed. Almost a full roll back to the combination. The combination is coming up very early. It's the 4th fence. So we come in, it's a vertical. 2 strides to another vertical. 1.55 m coming in. Good test. 11.4 meters, 2 strides. Again, tall vertical in the middle, 1.55. And now 8 meters, 1 stride to this big oxer. And look at that pastel, those light colours. We're seeing a bit more of that. It's 1.60 m wide. It's a big jump. Then we swing right-handed, cross to the 5th fence. And it's a big oxer. It's that Longines oxer. I think that's a little bit blind coming off the corner. Then back, right-handed, tall vertical. Bending left turn to the 7th fence. Big oxer again. Now all the way around the corner. Interesting to see, will anybody come inside fence number 11? I think we might. Now we have an oxer. We have a 5 stride distance down here to a tall vertical. There's a very narrow plank on flat cups on top of that. There's not a lot you can do. Be patient, ride the distance. No, keep coming all the way around the corner again. A blind turn to fence number 10. And then a bending line. And now we're coming close to the end of the track. This big oxer is just at the out gate. Big oxer again, and now we turn back and we've a double, followed by a short 4 stride distance to the last fence. So this double is decent. Big red and white poles on the way in, 1.60 m wide, 1 stride. Look, it's only 7.9, so that's short in any language or any currency. 1.55 m. Need a lot of control. It's only 4 strides down here. It walks for me a little bit short, and look, water tray underneath it, tall 1.60 m vertical. That takes a lot of jumping. It takes a lot of control at the end of the course in particular. Any horse that's a little bit unruly, any horse that's starting to get a little bit fatigued, that's going to be a difficult line. So the starting order. First up, the Doha Falcons. Sheikh Al-Tahini is first up. Basim Mohammed, Rocket Man, back with the same pairing again. They come back to prepare. Stockholm Hearts. Malin comes in on Hennessy. Jane comes in on Molly Malone Zed. So they've changed horses. Mexico Amigos, they're up next. Eduardo, he rides Ozzy Van Bishop. Carlos, he's on the same horse he had on the first time. Now we go to Istanbul Warriors. Hassan Senturk is back again. Simon Alessa is back again. Change of horse first. Celine is in. Guido is back again. Gentleman, we've seen him before. Celine changes horse. No, has the same horse again, if I'm correct. And now we see the tactics coming through. Christian Kukuk, he rode Sir George in the first round. Philip Wythap is also on the same horse as well. So in 17 main Scandinavian Vikings, Laura and Jörg Vreeling, he comes up. He sat out the first leg. He's on Killam sight. Beautiful horse. In 8th, Valkensvard United. Marcus Enning, Hans Dieter Dreyer, 2 guys back again. Loads of experience. In 9th, the Monaco Comets, Jolly Mittelaneo and Jonas Spreen. They were brilliant in the first round, first competition. Now in 10th, we have the Madrid in motion. Eduardo Alvarez Aznar steps up, and we have Michael van der Vleuten. And now in 11, New York Empire, Bertram Allen, Scott Brash. Hello Jefferson, there's a change up there, different horsepower coming in. My start list is slightly different. Andreas Schuh comes back for Basel Cosmopolitans. Jano Egners is also there again. And now in 13 for Prague Lions, same pairing again, same horses again. Fernando Martinez Sommer, Peter De Vos. Now in 14, the Cannes Stars, Katrina Eckermann and Anastasia. Then Shanghai Swans, Katrina Romberg. She's a local, she's an Austrian, she wants to be on a winning team. And she has, look, Point Break, the last horse to come in. What a last horse to have watch jump this track. Well, let's wait and see what happens. So, all the lights are on, stage is set. Just waiting for the first riders to come in. You can see they're going to come in through the palace. Doha Falcons will be the first in. And here we go, down the bottom of our screen. Come on, Stanley is the first horse we're going to see. Sheikh Ali Khalid Al Tahini back with us again. Jumped around the first competition. So he 2 fences down earlier on, and Come On Stanley. I thought Come On Stanley just looked a little bit over keen in the first round. He's a 10-year-old by Staccato. So he's got the bell. I'm sure they're going to try and just post good clear rounds. They're already on 24 penalties. That's going to make it difficult for them. No, they're fighting for points. So we're underway. Yeah, I commented on this horse. I think he's a really nice type. Beautiful, beautiful conformation. You can see he's really light on his feet. Loads of balance, but loads of power as well. He's super behind. You really see how he hinges at the back end. He uses his back to open up his hind legs and gives him loads of clearance and makes jumping those oxers so much easier. Yeah, it was difficult coming in, particularly with the electric atmosphere earlier on this afternoon. Now this horse really looks like he's settled down into the job. Jumped very well earlier on. He's had 2 outings already in the league in recent weeks. Jumped in Valkensvard, and he also jumped in Riesenbeck. Now big tall vertical. Yeah, this is the horse we know. He's a real superstar. Oh, his little rub. Now just sets up for the last line. Oh. Ah, very well done. Come on, leave it in the cups. That's what you deserve. Much, much better. There's Jan Tops. Give him a round of applause. Yeah, that's what we expect. It's a very strong pairing. They're just getting stronger and stronger as the season progresses. Didn't see them early in the league. They came in on the transfer window, so it's been a real positive signing for the Doha Falcons. Yeah, foot perfect there. A really strong performance. 87.17 the time. Yep, that's what we should have done the first round. So he passes over now to Bassam Mohammed. Now Bassam rode F1 USA in the first round. He changes over now. He's going to ride Rocket Man. This is a 10-year-old by My Lord Cathargo. Yeah, a big powerful horse. You can see very quick across the ground. And another horse has very good behind. You can see there over the last part of the combination, really flicks its heels up in the air. Now, keeps them nice and straight. Again, just jump right into percentages here, not too tight. Not going to take too many chances. I think they'll be disappointed with their score from the first round, first competition. It's not often we'd see them on a score of 24. Oh, has a front rail down. Yeah, just kicking out a little bit behind. Now. Carries at 4 falls down the last line. Jumps the last fence. Unfortunately, that team's going to finish up on 35. Take the 5 from. Come on, Stanley. So he also has a couple of time faults. So 6 penalties to add to the 5 and gives them 11. That's going to put them on. Push them well down the order. I think he might have pulled a shoe as well on his way around. Just, or is it the tape on the boots? Yeah, you can just see on that near 4 that just might have affected him a little bit as he was going around. Definitely wouldn't have helped him.
Well, now we head into GCL round 2, and the Doha Falcons have just jumped. Actually, Sheikh Al Khalid Al Tahani went clear just with 5 time faults, and Bassem Mohammed came in with 1 rail down and 2 time faults. Next into the arena is Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses. They bring forward a score of 16 into the second round, and if you want to follow along, all you need to do is head to GCTV and subscribe on there.